Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Thursday morning trading session. Allow me to get the screen share going. And looks like the market's just opened. With a little bit of a downward bias, it appears. So yesterday's session, rather subdued overall, but the market did trade higher. And here we are this morning, reversing on that a little bit. These charts, of course, the NASDAQ, for those of you new in the trading room this morning. I've got the Hawk Scalper here in the top left, Falcon Swing Trader top right, Eagle Trend Trader bottom left, and the Raptor on the bottom right. Crude oil in a little bit of a rally this morning. I wonder if that's going to push the market higher. Okay, here comes the Eagle. Now, we were talking about early Eagle signals just the other day. What you could do on this, well, the signal is printing right here, as you can see. There's a couple of ways you can enter. You can either wait for a second push opportunity, which is what we're getting now. Second push simply means we allow the signal to engage and then retreat from the signal. We're looking for some. Notice the last time the market printed the same signal right here, bounced off the ATR. So you could allow the market to flip the ATR over as well. That's another option. And what we were talking about the other day was the first signal on the Eagle, how when it's in sync with the band, it actually tends to have some pretty good follow through. And that's what we're looking at here. We're looking at a first signal with the band. It's against the ATR, that's this squiggly red and blue line. And what I'm doing is I'm entering on the other side of the ATR. You can see here my logic counter tells me the low of the bar will be 48.63 and a quarter. That's also where the ATR falls. So if this bar closes lower, it will flip the ATR over. See, just like it did here. Once it trades through the ATR, it flips the ATR over. Then everything will be in sync. All right, there we go. Just making a couple notes here in my journal. and we should have gotten comparable signals here on our other tools, and we did too. There's the first micro-macro cross. And here on the Raptor, we got a double pullback signal. This one's practically textbook for you Raptor traders. What you're looking for is you're looking for a little bit of a trend, and then the market's going to test the trend. So it does so by going into the cloud, comes out, and it produces a sell signal. It does it again, comes out, produces a second sell signal. That's your double pullback. Alright, this trade's close enough to my break-even trigger. I'm going to force the trade to break even. You can see we're literally a couple of ticks from the break-even trigger. Come on. Come on, there we go. You can do it. Wow, what a bar this one is. What a neutral bar. Come on. So, given this struggle here, there's obvious buying going on at this level. So if the market breaks or hits the low at 48.56, we're going to start tagging some of these buyers out of their positions. So this could actually be a much more pronounced move lower if the sellers can muster up enough momentum. otherwise, it's going to be a little break-even kind of trade here. Working a possible 4-arrow consolidation here now on the Hawk. And we've got a proper trend change signal here on the Falcon. Now, rather than take it right on the hash mark, given the current struggle, I would probably recommend entering below the low. Well, don't you dare tag me at break even. All right, the Hawk also producing a signal now. It's a macro pullback signal as part of our 4-arrow consolidation. You know, the hash mark is going to print right here. Oh, it's retreating a little. One, two, this will be signal number 3. I would much prefer it printed somewhere near this little trend line that I've drawn in. Because it is likely we are going to see a little bit of a reaction here. All right. Okay, so the Falcon here has now moved into, the trend line has changed color, so I'm going to cancel the Falcon trade. This Hawk trade still plaguing me. Okay, the macro pullback signal has since engaged, so you could already be short. Oh, well, our scalp target is down here at the trend line. I didn't realize that. Excuse me, I had a bit of a sneeze coming on there. Thankfully, I got to my mute button in time. Okay, so here comes now our 4-arrow consolidation signal. Let me see here. Okay, we've got a chance on a second push on this one as well. This is one of those, you're trusting the signal parameters. All right, so it's still a macro pullback. It's 1, 2, 3, 4-arrow consolidation. I'm still going to take it below this arrow, which is the 4th signal. There is no such thing as a 5-arrow consolidation or a 6-arrow consolidation. In fact, the longer the market takes to come around, the less likely it will be to get to its profit objective. Now, yes, you could bring up your macro pullback signal here as well. All right, so hooray. All right, so we'll put that back on the shelf. Unfortunately here for the Eagle trade, we just had that little bit of a hiccup. Took us out at break even. The market would since have fallen off to our profit objective. Yeah, Russell says, how about those 5-arrow consolidation setups? It makes me nervous. The macro pullback was in there as well, which made me a little less leery, but honestly, when you see the market making four arrows, okay, but it goes 5, 6, 7 arrows sometimes. Like I would never consider this a 4 arrow consolidation, even though it worked out, even though the principle is the same. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, ultimately 7 arrows. And like I say, it did work out, but I would have looked at that and I would have said, no, that's not a 4 arrow consolidation. It's too long without a breakout. The whole point of the 4 arrow consolidation is that it's essentially like a flag formation. And as with most flag formations, it's a temporary condition. So the market's in a little bit of a retrace, it bounces out, and it resumes the trend. That's the whole point of a 4 arrow consolidation. Sorry, I had a brain cramp there for a second. So the longer it spends going sideways, the less likely it is that it's going to give you that breakout with momentum. So just making a couple notes in my trading journal about the trade. All right, so we're watching the sellers struggling again. Now we've got a lot more volume coming in. It seems these bars are getting a little bit fatter. We're near the top of the hour, which will be the end of our opening range, and sometimes we see a little bit of a reversal from there. All right, what's going on with crude oil? Not a whole lot at the moment. Crude oil putting in its rally early on. Here's crude now on the Falcon. This is near the North American Open for crude oil. Nice little rally up to the secondary resistance. You can see that the market took a nice little bounce off the secondary support line. Rallied up, was pinched between the primary resistance, that's this blue line, and the median line for a little while, couple hours, and then finally broke and continued to rally. It almost seems as though crude oil is making better moves in the overnight now than in the North American session, which is a little odd. All right, so everything getting a little bit stronger now. The hawk now into yellow bars. I do believe the eagle has hit its high probability target. Yes, it has. And as is often the case when you hit the high probability target, you sometimes see a reaction to that. Just a reminder while we're waiting for something to happen here, there will not be a trading room this Monday. I'm going to be out of town. Our trading room will resume on Tuesday. Of course, there will be a trading room still tomorrow. This macro pullback here on the hawk, spoiled by the yellow bar. I don't know. It seems they seem like they're dragging their feet to me. You know, we're going to get a late filter entry signal here, and I'm going to be obliged to take it because it is a late filter entry signal. I wonder if I can dial down my risk, though. How far can I go with my stop? Can I take it up here? No. Gotta go in for the whole thing. If we get the signal, currently still kind of moving sideways. Oh, here they come with the warning dot again. Oh, and there they go. So I'm just going to set this order, just kind of park here. See if it even prints. Well, they're just a little bit conflicted. Okay, so now my signal is disappearing, my trend line is changing color. I will cancel that order. Well, almost looks as though the sellers are waking up, maybe. We're getting a green bar sell here in the hawk. The signal is going to print just below 48.58. You could draw yourself a trend line like this and reserve your entry until the other side of the trend line, or wait for a second push. Sometimes if you want to get a feel for the trend, instead of drawing a trend line up here, which is fine, you can also draw a trend line connecting the swing lows. And it kind of gives you a better visual of what the market is doing. Or I suppose you could even just draw that one like this. And it kind of gives you that, maybe things are flattening out a little bit. So we went from a rather steep trend to something a little bit more shallow. Oh, here's our green bar sell now. Okay, so here's the second push. With the green bar sell, you can also look to buy it, right? You can use it as a counter trend signal. If you are going to take a counter trend, I wouldn't necessarily recommend going in too heavy. If you're going to take it with trend, You know, we can certainly set it up like this. And this is one of these trades that's going to give me sweaty palms, I know it. I'm going to risk it back a little bit further. We're going to go above that little swing right there. And now just looking at some renewed momentum to possibly bring us in. And really all I'm looking for here is a retest of the low, a test of the extreme. If you wanted, you could do an OCO order here. You know, buy a breakout higher, sell a move lower. All right, here they come. There we go. There's the fill. Okay, coming back now with another green bar sell signal. So we're also possibly working another 4-arrow consolidation. I'm not liking all this sideways trading though. Come on. Crude oil falling sharply. I was just about to point out a macro pullback signal that we had here on, and I was going to suggest the second push on the signal. And then the market just went boom, boom, boom down. So now we may get a red bar buy signal, which would be worth trying to buy it higher. There's the red bar buy. Problem with crude oil, of course, where do you cover this trade? Ideally, you want to cover it down here, but I know I can't afford that. And I don't feel much like dialing up my risk on this one. So if you were to take it, you pretty much gotta just take your chances. Pays your nickels and takes your chances. So we'll put that away. Actually, on this red bar buy here on crude, you do have a chance for a second push entry on this signal as well, right? So we know the current limit of this bar. You can enter just a little bit above there. That does give you the opportunity to keep your stops a little bit tighter. So there's an opportunity. Not liking how they're stuck sideways. 1, 2, 3 signals, looking for the signal, fourth signal now to come through. Wonder why the markets are so quiet. During the summer it's to be expected, but just checking the trading calendar to see if there's a report or anything out due today. October 6th, no. No, I don't see anything that would really cause the market to be dragging its heels right now. All right, so this is going to be now a 4-arrow consolidation pattern. There we go. There's arrow number 4. Here too, I think I would prefer the trend line or maybe a second push on the signal, which gives you that opportunity right now. It's just such a quiet sideways market. 4-arrow consolidation is one of those signals that I will take off of the yellow bar. Actually, it's the only signal I will take off of the yellow bar. And as I mentioned, this is also an opportunity that you could bracket. You could throw an OCO order in, short below, buy above. I'm doing my best, my utmost to be patient with this trade. Come on, sellers. Tomorrow looks like we've got a couple interesting reports due out. Unemployment-based reports. I wouldn't have thought that was enough to stifle the market today, but perhaps. And then I wonder whether it's the election as well, the pending election, of course, in the U.S. And then we have Black October. Haven't heard any of the talking heads mention it yet. October, traditionally a time when we see the stock market make a little bit of a reset. All right, here they come. They're trying real hard. Oh my gosh. Let's go. Oh, it's brutal. Of course, all these yellow bars also characteristic of a sideways and choppy market. And I'm not liking the reluctance here to head lower. Well, the market's been dead sideways since, when did it go sideways here? Since around 7, top of the hour. So almost, well, about a half an hour now. We've been in this sideways chop. At least 20 minutes, 25 minutes. All right, so a little bit of an uptick. I think this is going to be the last chance for the sellers. I would love to see another bar lower here, obviously. But I think I'm going to get a little bit more aggressive with my stops. So the key will be this whole 48.56 area that we've been watching for a long time now. Obviously strong support down here. A break of 48.56 should see the market find our profit objective and probably send the market a little bit lower as well. sellers just can't seem to get it together. All right, come on. Come on, sellers. I put my stop about where the hard edge on the Raptor is, or on the Eagle and the Raptor, the hard edge of the band. All right, we're actually producing a first micro-macro cross higher. We did produce a trend change signal here in the Falcon. This is one of these signals, though, where you have to kind of take the context into account. I'm not against taking the signal. It is a valid signal. It is counter trend, however, so I would probably dial down the risk amount. I don't think I'd go in for the whole amount. Maybe take a single, or maybe look for a second push opportunity, which is what we have now. You could enter above the high of this current bar. I know, I'm stubbornly refusing to believe that the bears are out of this yet. All right, thank goodness that first micro macro cross got spoiled. And you could bring in your stops tighter now if you chose. You can bring your stops in above the high here. Let's see where my ATR is at. Nope, it's on the wrong side. All right, here we are again, 48.56. Come on. Oh, look at that. We're just kissing it. 56 quarter. 56. 56. Come on. There we go. Oh, phew. All right. Oh my gosh, don't you dare. Don't you dare. Look at this. They're sitting a tick above our break-even trigger. There we go. I'm going to take the trade to break-even. I'm not quite sure why my break-even. There we go. Now, oh. All right, I'm going to take the break-even stop out on that. It's probably too early, but you know what? It's all my nerves can handle. All right, let's put that back on the shelf. All right, almost have a first micro macro cross lower. Still very conflicted. Well, here we are. What can I say? We're still range bound. We're still very sideways. Even crude oil hasn't done a whole lot since its decline, I mean, since it tumbled lower. Possible that we're seeing a hard edge bounce here on crude. We are against the ATR, which always makes it a little bit dicey. There is an opportunity to push on this signal, which should enable you to take it a little bit tighter. The nice thing about entering this trade a little bit earlier, of course, is that it does give you the opportunity to adjust your position, or hopefully adjust your position before we get to the highs. So there's crude oil. Oh, come back here. All right, well, we'll put that on the shelf for now. When the market retreats a little bit, we should have another opportunity to get into that trade. Wow, what a stagnant session. The sellers may have the nod only because the trend technically is down, but there is no momentum here. Likewise, when there's a lack of momentum, it's almost as though gravity pulls the market lower. But I'm not happy about the continued bouncing around and the higher swing low here relative to this one. That could turn the market more bullish. But we'll see. Oh, sorry, Ken. I didn't see your post in time. Ken says, what about natural gas? Natural gas inventory is, of course, out at the bottom of the hour. And natural gas, always a fun market to watch the inventory report. Hold on a second, I'll pull that up for you. Because they're just crazy. So here's was the Falcon. Oh, actually, it looks like the inventory report fairly subdued for natural gas. So this was pre-report. And as we do with the crude oil report, very often we look at doing a bracket order. So probably could have sold down here and bought above the primary resistance, seeing how the market's more or less in the middle of the two. And it would have seen a rather quick decline. So all this came out within a span of a few seconds, but pretty quiet for natural gas. Usually natural gas giving you several very violent swings after the inventory report. Well, nothing really going on here. Same thing with soybeans. They've kind of been flip-flopping a little bit. I almost thought we were going to see a rule of three signal in soybeans as we had this downtrend and we were starting to produce counter-trend signals. But now we're just kind of going sideways. I would like to see this swing higher here and produce another buy signal on the other side of the trading band. That would kind of be a variation of the rule of three. Not that we're looking for variations, but we might see soybeans rally. It looks like they're trying to hold the lows. Well, might see a little bit of a move higher now. We are getting a soft edge buy signal on the Raptor, just produced right here. But given what we've been watching this morning, it might be prudent to wait for a second push on the signal. So you could enter above the high of this current candle. Well, I don't know if there's much point in hanging out for another 10 minutes. It does seem like the market is stuck in sideways mode this morning. And it will probably continue to do so for a little while. We are getting a first micro macro cross signal to buy. This is similar to the soft edge buy signal that we were just looking at in the Raptor, and something that you should approach with a little bit of caution. Maybe look for a second push opportunity. Definitely you want to cover the trade as deep as possible. I'm not sure you even want to go in for the full 2%. Throw a single on it. If you can run it out a little bit, great. If not, well, you should have a chance to adjust your stops somewhat, maybe lock in a little bit of profit. But I think we're going to call it a day. Things are likely to loosen up in the afternoon. Days like this that are dead quiet in the morning tend to get busy during the afternoon session. So go have an early lunch, or in my case, breakfast, and come back in a half an hour or an hour, and maybe the market will be moving a little bit more fluid at that point. But we'll try it again tomorrow. All right, we'll talk to you then. Bye for now.